This is Personal Injury Court.
Good day, everyone. This is the matter of Stamps versus Farmer. Mr. Stamps, it's my understanding from the documents that you submitted to this court that you sustained some injuries at Mr. Farmer's restaurant. You are suing him for those injuries. You're asking this court to award you $35,000 for your medical expenses and $125,000 for emotional distress for a total award of $160,000. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, it's correct.
And Mr. Farmer, you believe that this is all his own doing, and he's really lucky he didn't end up in jail.
Yes, sir.
So let's get into the legal sauce. Mr. Stamps, how did you get to this restaurant that day? Why'd you pick this one?
Well, to tell you the truth, it was a beautiful day. I thought, maybe I'll take my girl out, we'll go get a nice meal. So we hear about this place, the right leg, left hip.
What's the name of your place, Mr. Farmer?
My leg, your thigh, Your Honor.
Okay, so, Mr. Stamps, you went to My Leg, Your Thigh.
Yeah, and you know what? I heard this place has fantastic chicken. So we went there.
And was the chicken fantastic?
Well, I wished it was. We sat down, I'm ready to eat. Also, I want to impress her. We've only been going on a couple months. And the chicken comes, I go and take a bite of it. I mean, it smelled like it was going to be good because of the sauce. I go and take a bite. It was completely raw. It was literally pink inside. I mean, I felt ill. I felt ill.
You're serving uncooked chicken at the restaurant?
No, sir. That is not the correct.
Well, tell me about your restaurant. It's a chicken place.
It's chicken wings, some fries. It's just a simple place, Your Honor.
Okay, special recipe?
We got a lot of special sauces, 30 different sauces.
Yeah, salmonella sauce.
Your Honor, if he had any problem with this chicken, I was offering to fix it. I didn't get a chance.
How long have you owned this restaurant?
5 years, Your Honor.
And in that 5 years, have you had any other problems of this sort?
We've had customers come up, and they might want some chicken done differently. They might want a different sauce.
Do they want it cooked?
We want it replaced.
Exactly.
We don't have a problem cooking the chicken. If he had an issue with his chicken, he just has to bring it up to me, and I would have fixed it. I would just go get a whole new box of chicken and let him pick whatever sauce he wants.
Easy fix.
Exactly.
Easy fix,
Exactly.
Mr.
You know what? I
Stamps.
told you, I ate raw chicken. I literally took a bite of it. I felt ill. My mother's been telling me, "Look, chicken hands. Don't touch the chicken hands. You're gonna get sick." I'm thinking I'm gonna get disease. I'm gonna get pneumonia, as far as my mom is concerned.
So you bite into the chicken.
Yeah, so I don't want to eat the chicken. I don't want to eat anything. In fact, I didn't eat anything for another day. I felt sick. And so what does he want to do? He's going to go recook the raw chicken with his chicken hands and then give me more raw chicken. Because I'm sorry. You know what? You run a place for 20 years, you learn how to cook.
We're going to have order in this court.
Sorry.
This is not a baseball field. It's a courtroom. So you bite into the raw chicken. Then what do?
Well, I walked over to him and I just said, "Can I please have a refund?"
Do you show him the chicken?
Of course I showed him the chicken. I had it in my hand. I put it on the counter. I said, "Look, it's completely pink."
He offered to give you another meal. That's
No,
an
he
easy
offered
fix,
to take
right?
my half-bitten raw chicken and then take it and throw it back into the fryer.
No, and you were going to give him a new meal,
no,
right?
He did not offer me a
offered
new
to fix
thing.
it, Your Honor. And I told him I offered to fix the chicken, and he was ranting. He wouldn't let me continue.
I can't hear him if you talk over him.
That's how it was. I couldn't explain to him how I'd fix it.
Well, it's a simple fix. Give him his money back, right?
No, sir, we don't.
Yeah, that's nice.
Well, sir, we don't do refunds. It's against our policy to do refunds.
They don't do chicken either.
This is what he was saying. He was attacking me the whole time. But I explained to him, there's signs on the wall behind me.
Okay.
On the counter. We don't do refunds. We don't have to do refunds, Your Honor. We
Okay.
fix the chicken.
You know what? He didn't really say that. He just said, "I'm going to recook this chicken," including the little piece with a little bite in it. He wanted to take my bite with my little thing and put it back in there, and then go back with his little salmonella hands, and then touch my silverware and touch the plants. I mean, I couldn't even talk for a day.
So you didn't like that option, so what did you do?
I I saw the register was open, so I just grabbed the money from the register. And you know what? Listen, we were the only ones in the restaurant. It was empty. It was an empty restaurant.
He was stealing from the
And then what? Then what did you do, Mr. Farmer?
First of all, he didn't have that conversation. He came up demanding a refund right off the bat. I said,
already
I
beat
tried
me
to
down,
fix
be
it,
honest.
and he wouldn't even let me address how I'd fix it. He was going right into it. No, I want a refund. I want a refund. When I tried to explain to him, he just got even more angry. That's when he leans across the counter, goes in the register, pulls out a hot handful of cash, and starts to leave.
Now, you pull a hunk of cash out of the register,
No,
you can imagine.
I didn't. You know what? My cash was sitting there on top of the register. I figured
It wasn't in the register?
No, it was on top of the register.
It was in the register,
It was
Your Honor.
on top of the register.
The register-
Listen. There's.
Well,
obviously-
regardless of where it was, you reached across the counter and grabbed your cash and
Out of the register.
And then what happened?
What happened is I made it maybe 2 steps, and then he tackled me from behind.
No,
Completely
I did
beat me
not
up. He
tackle.
slams my head into the ground. You see, he cut my cheek. My cheek. He gave me a black eye. I'm scared of my mind. Suddenly, somebody locks the door, and me and my girlfriend are locked in there with 2 crazy
Now,
people.
Mr. Farmer, he said his money was up on top.
No,
It wasn't
sir.
on top?
No,
Oh,
no.
please.
I was counting change in the register when
Be
he
a
comes
man.
up.
Come
We were the
on.
only
He
ones
grabs
in
the
the
cash,
restaurant.
and I'm thinking, this guy's nuts. I knew he was angry because I watched him before. We have a video of him getting angry, but I was watching him, and when he comes up, I knew he was angry. And
He's watching me on
I tried to calm
MTV.
him down, saying, "We'll fix it, we'll fix it." He grabs the money, and I'm thinking the guy's nuts, and I'm thinking he's robbing us.
Mr. Farmer, you submitted some surveillance video from inside your restaurant.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's watch it. You walk me through it and tell me what's happening.
Yes, sir. This is the 2 sitting at the table. They're getting louder and louder. At one point, he's throwing chicken, and she's yelling. I thought they were having a fun time. They were laughing.
Yeah, when you put chicken in a napkin instead of eating it, it's fun. It's so much fun. Half-eaten chicken in a napkin,
So he's
it's a
getting
riot. It's
he's
like a roller
angry,
coaster.
and he's coming up to me right now. And I'm sitting there, and I know he's angry. And see, he stuck one right out of the register, right there.
Oh,
so I hop
please.
over the counter, and I go and try to grab him.
Yeah,
Okay,
in about
and-
3 seconds.
and-
You notice how quickly he reacts?
And so when you go over the counter,
Right.
what are you trying to do?
I'm trying to tell him to
Look, my back's to
I
him,
told
by
him,
the way. Look, my
put the
back's
money
to him.
back or I'm calling the police. So I'm trying to hold on to him so he can't escape. That's
Okay.
all I'm trying to do. Keep
Look,
him in
look, the
there.
exit
Now,
is
Mr.
that way.
Stamps.
I'm walking that way. I'm walking that way. I'm not walking towards the
Mr.
exit.
Stamps, you get your money and you start to leave, right?
No, I was walking right along the counter, and he jumps off the counter. He tackles me this way. The exit was that way.
Did you fight him back?
A little bit. The thing is, the guy tackled me to the ground. I had the money in my hand. He
did
tried
not
to
tackle you,
grab it for me,
He did
and
not
I
tackle.
ripped my arm out and I hit him.
That's-
but
that's-
you know, like it was.
But it was an
Well, how do you
Exactly.
remember that, Mr. Farmer?
I hopped over the counter, as you saw.
All right.
I reached around and I grabbed hold of him. And then he went down. He's starting to panic. He's starting to yell. His girlfriend's yelling. And I'm just trying to hold
Because when
on.
people hold you down, you
I'm just trying to hold on because I'm telling them, give the money back or I'm calling the police. Like
You're
I
trying
said.
to wait for the police.
Exactly, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Stamps, you brought your girlfriend, Miss Jessica Moore, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Moore, you were there. What happened?
So as soon as Elgin went up to the counter and asked to get a refund, I started filming because the guy was really aggressive. I knew something bad was going to
already was happening. He
happen.
was holding
She
me
was
down.
filming.
So what did happen?
As soon as he hurdles
Tackles
over,
me.
No.
Hurdles the counter and
over the
tackles
counter,
me.
I try to warn Elgin that he's coming, and then as soon as he tackles him, I drop the phone. At this point, I'm terrified. He's hitting him.
She's terrified.
He's on the ground.
He's just beating me down. He gets to beat me to death like a
He only went on the
vigilante.
ground.
Did you
Yeah.
pummel him?
No, sir.
Look at his face.
When she
please,
yelled,
come
look
on.
out, he's
Believe
coming,
your lying
he went on the
eyes. Believe
ground.
the video.
He ducked down like that. And so I was holding on to him the best I could. I didn't tackle him. I didn't even knock him down. He went down. He's trying to
you
escape.
seen the
He's
videotape?
struggling, trying to get away. I'm just holding on.
Now, Mr. Stamps, you did say that when Mr. Farmer reached for you, you came back with an elbow.
She said, look out. You hear look out, you react. You know, I figure the guy's tackling me. Also, know the guy just served me bad food. As far as I'm concerned, that's criminal. If I sell you a car
He stole
and the
from
car
the
doesn't have a
restaurant, and
wheel,
I'm stopping
I'm
him.
sorry. You
We'll
know, you
talk
get a
about
refund.
criminal. Miss Moore, you submitted the video from
Cell
your
phone.
phone. I want to look at it, and you take me through it.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's put it up on the screen.
Go ahead, honey. I got it all on camera.
It's all chicken final. You don't do chicken either, you know? I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. I've had enough. I'm sorry. I'm taking my
See, I had no chance to argue with him.
See, look where I'm walking. I'm walking towards the door. Boom!
So you dropped your phone at
I
that
dropped,
point.
as soon as he tackles him, I drop the phone because I don't know what's going on.
And that's when all hell broke loose.
Exactly.
No, but you could hear
No, Your
chairs
Honor.
broke, we crashed to the ground. So whatever happened with me, it was happening on the way to the ground. You know why? Because I was right.
Mr.
Because
Stamps,
this guy cooked
you
me.
reached across the counter and grabbed money. It used to be yours, right?
Oh, you know,
He's coming to get his money, right?
I don't know. It isn't his money because I paid for cooked chicken. No sympathy for whatever. Look, this moves
Okay,
0
tell
to
me about
60
your
very
injuries.
quickly. He jumps the counter.
Okay, tell me about your injuries.
Well, listen, as I said, he slammed me to the ground. I ended up
No, I
busting
did
my
not.
chin up. I got bruises
He had
all over my
blood.
face. I had a cut on my chin, and I had a
eye.
terrible black eye that still is in a way, even though it's been a little bit of time. You know what? It was completely
There was blood
upsetting.
everywhere.
No.
You know,
This was not a paper cut because you've
Exactly.
got $35,000 in past medical bills. That's
Look
a
at
big
his
deal,
face.
Mr.
well, he
Farmer.
was an
No, I
amateur
can explain
boxer. I don't know
what
if you
happened. I
told
saw
him, but you know, he was an amateur boxer.
I did a little bit in college, but that was it.
Hands are deadly weapons. You see that? He's
Exactly.
holding me down. He's just
No.
beating me.
And now-
He's beating me. I would have rather the cops
Mr.
come. If the
Stamps.
cops came, I could have said,
Mr.
"Rip
Stamps.
this guy."
I've heard your story.
Okay,
Tell me
I'm
about how this has impacted your life. You're asking this court to give you $125,000 for emotional distress. Tell me what you're going through.
Now, when I walk down the street, someone gets too close to me, I'm scared. It's like I have some kind of post-traumatic stress, because I never in my life had someone tackle me from behind. But I talk because I choose not to be violent. But it doesn't give him the right to hold me down and beat me to death.
Or stop us from leaving the restaurant.
Yeah, I mean, he
locked
held
us
us in there.
Well, do you all understand that it might make a business owner queasy or uncomfortable, maybe even alarmed, when an outraged customer reaches over the counter and grabs the money? Just that fact alone. You see why they would be uncomfortable with that?
Yeah, listen, I hear what you're saying, and I understand putting myself in the other shoe.
And the flip side, Mr. Farmer, it is no fun biting into chicken that can make you sick. You see why he was mad about this?
I can understand. I totally understand. And I was going to fix it.
He's not Spartacus, I'm sorry, you know?
Mr. Stamps.
It wasn't the Coliseum.
Mr. Stamps, Mr. Stamps, as I look at this video where it is frozen, are you telling me that you were just peacefully going to walk away?
Do I look angry? Do I have a sneer? Am I
Answer
drooling?
my question.
No, I don't think it looks. I don't think it looks like I'm sad.
You didn't think I was coming after you.
He's about to kick my butt.
You thought I was going to let you run away.
Well, are you
here? I walking out the door?
Mr. Stamp,
You didn't think I was going to
direct your comments to me. Mr. Farmer, your comments to me.
Yes, sir.
If y'all want to talk, I'll leave. You won't get a decision, and that's my job.
I hear you.
Now, Mr. Stamps, are you telling this court that you didn't throw one blow?
He's whacked me in the back. I think, what's going to happen to me? Am I going to be paralyzed? I mean, I'm going to knock to the ground. Yeah, of course you're going to defend yourself. You don't let someone do something that could be a debilitating injury and just do nothing.
So you did try to defend yourself?
Just once, one punch. And that's it. Then he tackles me, he grabs my arm, the money falls to the ground. At that point, he can just say, you know what? I'm holding you down until the police come.
That's what I did.
So who called the cops?
No, I wanted the police to
I did,
come.
Your Honor.
Okay, so you called the cops?
Yes, Your Honor.
And was anybody arrested?
Well, listen, I wish he'd been there early, because then instead of getting beaten up, I could have followed the complaint.
Well, I know the answer to that. The reason no one was arrested is because both of you were kind of involved with this. This is a civil matter.
But look at his face, Your Honor. If it was a fair fight, they definitely have different levels of fighting abilities.
No, Ms. Moore, I understand why you think that, but let me give you a legal lesson. Just because someone is hurt on someone's property doesn't mean that the property owner or the business owner...
Even if they attacked you?
I was speaking, sir. Thank you. Just... The fact that you are injured is not the only issue, not the only fact. I've got to look at what led to the injury and who's legally responsible. So here, I think I've heard enough, and I'm ready to render my decision. Folks, in every personal injury case, the plaintiff, you, Mr. Stamps, have to prove that Mr. Farmer, the defendant, did something wrong, and that wrong caused your injuries. I, as a judge, have to look at the evidence, balance it, and make a decision as to who wins. Here, the evidence that you submitted is you and Miss Moore went to the restaurant, try this famous chicken. You bite into the chicken and you think you're gonna get sick. It is so uncooked. Understandably, you go to the counter, you're kind of irate. You want your money back. For some reason, their policy says you don't get your money back. You get more chicken. That was not satisfactory to you, so you reach across the counter, you grab the money, and then, as you have presented to this court, Mr. Farmer attacked you. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Mr. Farmer, you see this a bit different.
Yes, sir.
He could have easily fixed this by letting you get him another meal.
Well, of course, Your Honor.
Right? And we wouldn't have had this problem. But then when he reaches across the counter, you're trying to make sure that he doesn't get away with what looks like a crime.
Exactly.
And so you put your hands on him.
I put my hands on him and held him from...
Well, here's the problem, gentlemen. Both of you engaged in what could be a crime. You taking money and you attacking somebody. Mr. Farmer, looking at the evidence, You came over the counter to restrain him. Now, while the law allows you to restrain him, you must do so peaceably. And I've heard evidence that maybe it didn't happen that way. Ms. Moore dropped her phone, so we didn't get it on tape. But the evidence that it may not have been peaceable is his face and his scars and his medical bills.
I can explain.
And that is not supposed to happen. Mr. Stamps, throwing that elbow, you started what the law calls mutual combat. You, as the plaintiff, cannot begin a fight and then ask the law to protect you and hold someone else responsible. So because you engaged in mutual combat, I must find against you and in favor of Mr. Farmer, and that is my final verdict, and this matter is adjourned. Our attorneys across America just viewed this case for the first time. Let's hear what Gary Martin Hayes has to say.
In my opinion, the defendant used reasonable force in restraining the plaintiff who grabbed money from the cash register. This is known as the merchant's privilege to detain for investigation. If the owner suspects shoplifting, he may reasonably detain the suspect for a limited period of time just for the purpose of investigating the crime. Now, if the defendant had used excessive force, this would have been an entirely different verdict.
When someone holds you down, it's not mutual.
When someone attacks you?
You both had plenty time to testify. I understand this is important to you. Sheriff, take these folks out of my courtroom.